Hi, this is Marek from Tryb Solo. Today I'd like to tell you more about Deliverance, a game published by Lowen Games, and thanks publisher for sending this game for review. And Deliverance is a cooperative skirmish adventure game where you play as angelic warriors fighting with demons and with evil. You can play this game as single skirmish games where you will set up the battlefield, randomly choose enemies and a boss, and you will fight them and that's it. Or you can play a campaign that has got a lot of scenarios that are connected with each other, where you will gain experience, advance your character, and you will get also some story for it. So let me show you how the game plays, and then I will tell you my opinion on this game. This is Deliverance prepared for play. It's prepared for the skirmish mode. You can play Deliverance in two ways. You can play a skirmish, a single game where you fight different demons and then you will fight a boss and you must defeat them in order to win. Or you can play a campaign where you have different scenarios that are connected with each other. You will gain experience and you will gain different items and modify your character, and you will have a story that will continue from scenario to scenario. But if you want to play a single game, a skirmish mode, this is how it looks like. The rules in both campaign and the skirmish mode are basically the same. You will move in the same way, use your actions, fight with demons, they will fight with you. The campaign adds a few more things to the basic mode. First, to play the game, you have to choose an angel. And you have a lot of different angels that you can choose from. They all have different abilities. They all play different from each other because each angel has got different actions that you will be able to use, and the actions are different for each angel. On the back of each angel board, you have lore, inspiration, playstyle, suggested build, so you can read about it, and then you have your angel. You have different stats, health and other stats that are used for action and for combat, different actions that you will be able to use. I will talk about it a little later. And here you have space for talents, and talents are special abilities. Each angel has got a deck of talent cards, and each angel has got a separate deck of talent cards that are dedicated for the specific angel, and you'll be able to unlock these cards to gain additional abilities. After you choose your angel, you have to decide if you want to play solo or not, because if you want to play solo, you can use 2 angels, 3 angels, 4 angels, how many you like, and you will play without any changes in the rules. Or you can play true solo with only 1 angel, and if you want to play a true solo mode, you will gain intercessor, and this is like an angel that will help you. This angel will also have its actions, but he will not be represented on the board by a miniature. There will be only 1 miniature for your main angel. This one will mostly use its action to help and to boost your angel, but it doesn't move on the board. Enemies will not attack intercessor, so this is really cool. So you have additional angel that will be able to help you, but you will not have to worry about moving this angel, gaining equipment and so on. This intercessor, the helper for solo mode, has also got a deck of talent cards with additional abilities that you can unlock. But if you want to play a regular game with 2 angels alone, it's no problem. You will choose 2 different angels and you will play them. Here is the darkness board. And darkness board is a board where you will add darkness cards, and darkness cards are different negative events and effects that will appear on the board during the game. And during the game you will first you place them face down, but then at certain points of the round you will uncover them, and they have a lot of different negative effects that will affect your angels and the battlefield. You have a battle deck. This is a deck that you will take cards from in order to spawn new demons and enemies. Here is the initiative space, and here you will place different enemies. Each enemy has got a card, and you will place them, and the enemies will behave in the initiative order. On the bottom you can track your experience, darkness discard and battle discard. And on the top you have different terrain tiles. If you play a campaign mode, each scenario will tell you exactly which tiles you have to use. If you play a skirmish mode, you will randomly choose terrain tiles from the one available in the game box. You have a lot of them, they are double-sided. You have to use as many terrain tiles as there are angels in the game. If you play a true solo mode, you still have to use 2 tiles, because Intercessor is counted as an angel, even though he doesn't have a miniature. You have to count Intercessor. So in a solo mode or a 2-player game, you have to choose 2 tiles, and you will place them here. The third tile is the Heavenly Gate. This tile is always present in the game. Here you have a place to store Heavenly Treasure card, prayer cards, and this is where your angel will start the game. On each terrain tile, you have different elements. Yeah, like here you have different icons, and the icons are important because when you draw an enemy card, the enemy card will tell you where to place different enemies, where to place saints. Saints are the persons that you have to rescue during the skirmish, because they start in the oppressed mode, and then they can be saved. If they remain in the oppressed mode, you will have to draw more darkness cards, the bad event cards that will affect your game. And also on the tiles you have this blue lines, and this means that this line cannot be crossed. So if you have your character and you would like to move from here, let's say, to here, you cannot move over the red lines, the blue areas here. You have to go around. So this is impassable terrain. And after you add the required amount of tiles, you have to add enemies. For each tile present in the game, you will take 1 random card from this deck, and it will tell you which type of enemy you have to add, where you have to place them depending on the icons, where you have to place the saint, and you will place this enemy card on the initiative track to know when the enemy will move. Each enemy, apart from a standee, because you have the beautiful angel miniatures for the characters, but you also have a very cool standees for the enemies. They are numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, because you can have more instances of the same enemy on the board. Each enemy also has got this enemy board, and an enemy board for each enemy shows you 4 different spaces here on the image, and here you will store damage token for each enemy of this type that is present on the board. And here you have special abilities, just like your angel who has a lot of abilities that can be triggered. These are the abilities for the enemy. Some abilities are like passive ones, like here this one with this icon, unclean. This is something that is always triggered each time this enemy activates. And the rest are actions, and when an enemy will act, you will roll a d6 die, and depending on the result you will trigger one of these actions. Usually you will roll a die for each enemy of this type. Some cards tell you to roll a die for each enemy. You have to make a separate roll, but usually you will roll a die, then you will pick the corresponding action, and each enemy on the board will perform this specific action. So, at the start of each round you have to draw a darkness card. And darkness cards are, as I said, different cards that have different effects, negative for your angels, and you have to draw as many darkness cards as there are angels in the game, plus the number of oppressed saints. So in this situation I will have to add 4 darkness cards because I have 2 angels and 2 saints were not saved. On the first round of the game you only add darkness cards for the number of angels, you skip the saints, but in every following round you also have to add darkness cards for each saint that hasn't been saved. And as you can see, you have only 5 spots. So when you add darkness cards, you will add them here and here and here. And if at any point when the darkness track is full, you have to add additional darkness cards, you will not add them, but you will start to reveal them. And they have different effects, like here, after an angel passes a test, that angel is dealt 3 damage and then destroy this card. So they have different effects. Some effects are like one-time effects that are used when you reveal this card. Sometimes, like here, you will only use this one and then you will discard this card. Some cards, darkness cards, will stay in the game and will affect every round. So the more cards are here, then you start to reveal them. If all the darkness cards are revealed and you have to add more darkness cards, then for each card that doesn't have a space on this track, each angel will be dealt 1 damage. So you should try to save the saints and you should try to remove the darkness cards from this board. You can do it by performing specific actions, because the more cards are here, the more the skirmish will be difficult, because you will have different effects that affect your angels. After you add and reveal darkness cards, then the angels and demons will play their turn. You start with 1 angel, then after 1 angel there is the first demon, then there is the second angel, then there is the second demon, and so on and so on. In your turn, you can spend your action tokens to perform different actions. So basically you have 2 action tokens that can be spent. Some actions are they doesn't cost action tokens to use, like here, for example, advance. You can see this hourglass icon with the wings, and this means that this action is free for the first time you use it. I mean free, that you don't have to use this token. If you want to advance second time, then you will have to flip one of the action tokens here. So you have to read what is the cost of each action. Sometimes, like +1, it means that you will gain 1 courage token. When there is -4, for example, then you will have to pay 4 courage tokens to perform this action. So you have these 2 tokens and you can spend them on performing different actions. When you are done, the demons will act. And as I said, when a demon has its turn, you will first trigger all the passive abilities of this demon, then you will roll a die and perform the action of this demon. And after that, the second angel will play, and so on. You have these courage tokens that you can spend. You have different statuses. During the game, you can gain boons and you can gain afflictions. Boons are positive effects, afflictions are negative effects. When a demon gives you an affliction or you get a boon from your ability or a card, you will add a specific token from this tray to your character, like for example Empower, and then you will be able to gain this bonus or some negative effect from an affliction. If you manage to kill different demons, you will gain experience. Each demon card shows you how much experience you get, how many experience points, and then you will move this experience track here. You can get experience from killing demons, but you also gain experience if you save a saint. To save a saint, you have to move to a space adjacent to a saint, and then you will flip it to its rescued side. But the demons will also get there and they will try to oppress the saint again. If you have experience points, you can spend them. If you gain 3, if you play with 1 or 2 angels, you have to get 3 experience, with 3 angels 4, and with 4 angels 5 experience. Then you can level up. And if you want to level up, you can either get 2 Heavenly Treasure cards. You take 2, you pick 1, and you add this card to your angel. And sometimes they give you additional actions or passive abilities, and they usually give you some bonus to your stats, like health or the sword or the book. So this is one way to modify your stats on your angel board. And if you don't want to have any treasure, you can unlock your talents. You have 3 talent tiers, 1, 2, and 3. You start with the first that is not uncovered, and you randomly take 2 cards. Then you can read them, and you will have to choose one. And these talent cards give you additional bonuses, additional abilities, and a lot of times additional actions that you will be able to take. And as I said, each angel has got a separate deck of talent cards, so they are dedicated for a specific angel. So let's say I would like to get this ability, and it means exceptional discipline, pay 1. Once on your turn, you may gain 2 shield. If you gain shield, then if you gain damage from a demon, you will first reduce your shield and then reduce your health. And if I unlock this talent, I will place it here next to my angel board. And this is an ability that I will be able to use during the rest of the skirmish. And here you have tier 2 and tier 3 talents. After you kill all demons in the first battle, then you will add additional tiles. Again, the number of tiles you have to add depends on the angel count. And then you will have to generate new enemies. For each, you will have to count all the new tiles that you added. And then you have to add new demons from this deck, -1, because the last enemy that you will add will not be a regular demon, but it will be a prince, like boss. And you have 6 princes in the game. And in the second stage of the skirmish, in the second battle, apart from regular demons, you will fight with princes of evil, a boss. They behave similar to regular enemies. They have a lot of more health, and they have more different abilities and are difficult to kill. And your ultimate goal is to win the second battle by defeating all the demons and by defeating the Prince of Darkness. If at any point during the game all angels are defeated, I mean all angels lose all their health, you will lose the skirmish. If only one angel loses all its health, it can be revived by another angel by using pray action. And I forgot to tell you, there's also this prayer deck, and if you perform a pray action, you can gain 1 card from this deck. And prayer cards are like, you can say, spells in a typical dungeon crawler game. You gain these prayers and you can spend them for their actions and abilities and bonuses. We have a lot of prayers, and the prayer cards will help you during the combat. So in the second stage of the game, you will have to fight demons, and you will fight the Prince of Darkness, and if you win, you will win the skirmish. Additionally, each prince has got a separate deck of darkness cards. So apart from the regular darkness cards, there are separate darkness cards dedicated for each prince, for each boss. When a boss enters play, you will place this darkness prince deck here on the darkness board, and anytime you will have to add new darkness cards, you will have to add instead of one of the regular cards, you will have to add this prince darkness card. And again, they are not very cool, they are very difficult, they have different stars, so they should be added in a specific order, and they will again make your life more difficult. But still, if you think that you are a great Deliverance player and you play this game a lot, you can adjust the difficulty. This is the basic mode. There are a few difficulty levels, and if you want a harder game, you can use this talent cards for the enemies. You have major talents and you have minor talents. And just like with your angel, talents give each enemy different abilities, more health, different actions, different attacks, and you can add major and minor talents to the enemies. The rulebook tells you exactly how many cards you can use depending on the difficulty level. Here you have space for the talent cards, and then you can add the talents to this enemy. Also, at the backside of the enemy card, there's also a lore, so you can read more about this specific type of enemy. If you still think this game is too easy for you, you have a dedicated deck of talent cards for each boss, like Legion talent, Herod talent, and these talent cards dedicated for each boss give additional abilities and bonuses for each prince. So a lot of ways to adjust the game. And this is basically the regular mode, the skirmish mode. But if you want to play a campaign, you have the dedicated campaign book, Deliverance of Fallbrook, with a lot of different scenarios. And basically the core gameplay is the same, but here you have some different rules that you have to read and to learn in order to play the campaign. The basic change is that each scenario, like your mission 1 for example, gives you a story, tells you to prepare specific terrain tiles, you have to place specific enemies depending on the player count, and you have a setup, victory, special rules and challenge condition. Each scenario can be played in a regular mode or in a challenge mode, more difficult one. This scenario gives you victory conditions, you have the initiative track, you have to place enemies in a specific order, and here you have rewards. And in the campaign mode you don't get rewards by saving saints or by defeating demons, but you will gain experience from the rewards section of each mission. When you start to play the campaign, each angel gains this character sheet where you will track your victories, the treasures you will gain, because you don't get heavenly treasure just by killing demons, but you will get the heavenly treasure as a reward for finishing a mission, a scenario. You can unlock talents, you can unlock bonuses, and like in Gloomhaven you have these bubbles here, and for each experience point you get, you can mark or fill in one of the bubbles. If you fill all of them, you will gain this bonus. You can unlock talents, you can get treasures, and you will continue playing with your character from one scenario to another, so your angel will become more and more powerful during the game. And another cool thing is, I don't want to show you too much because I don't want to spoil the fun for you, but apart from the regular enemies that you may know from the skirmish mode, you will gain additional enemies because some of the enemies are printed inside this campaign book and you will have to face them. So this campaign has got a lot of surprises. There is even a secret box in the game box of this game that you will have to open at a specific moment of the campaign, and you will find new things inside. So if you would like to play a campaign, you have this whole campaign book. If you don't like campaign games or you don't have enough time, you can play a separate single skirmish mode and fight with demons and fight with bosses. And this is basically how you play Deliverance. Now you know how to play Deliverance, so let me tell you my pros and cons. A big pro for me is the theme of this game. This is a Christian game, it's not secret, it's written on the official website of this game, and even if you open this box and read all the story and the rule book and some quotes from the Bible on the cards, you will know that this is a Christian game. But I really like that they took this Christian lore and created a cool adventure skirmish game out of it. The Christian theme in this game is treated more like, I don't know, you have a game about Norse mythology or, I don't know, ancient Greece mythology, and here you have Christian mythology, if you can say it. And it's really cool, it's unique, and finally we have a game about some different theme than the usual, I don't know, fantasy, adventure, or I don't know, Greek, Nordic theme. So this is for me a big pro. The second thing I like in this game is the asymmetric angels, heroes. This is great. Each angel plays differently, has got different skills, different attributes, different actions he and she may take. They even have different talent cards, and this is really cool that you have a separate talent deck for each angel in this game, and then you can unlock different abilities. So they really feel different, and you can play with each angel. They don't have only other picture and 3 different stats. They feel like a completely different playstyle. You have different enemies and different bosses, and they also play different. Each enemy and boss has got a separate board with different attacks, different behaviors, and this is awesome. When you fight with different boss, when you fight with different enemy, you have to really adjust your strategy to the specific enemy. You have 2 play modes in this game. You have skirmish mode and you have campaign mode, and they both feel very well developed. It's not like you play the skirmish mode and you feel that this campaign was something added later or not properly developed. Both modes of this game play really well. You can play a skirmish game, it plays fast, 1 hour, you will fight enemies and you will fight the boss. Or if you have more time, you can play the campaign where you will have story, even more different enemies. You will get experience and you will develop your character. Really, really cool. I like the artwork in this game. Artwork on cards, on enemies, on the angels. You have beautiful miniatures. They have this wash, so they are not like painted, but they look like some old stone sculptures of the angels. It looks great. You have a plastic insert, you have some trays for tokens. Really, really cool. And I also like the solo mode. This is another mode that was really well developed, because they didn't do this lazy thing where they tell you if you play solo, you have to use 2 characters. You can use 2 characters, you can use 2 angels, you can use 3 angels or 4 angels if you play solo and if you want to. But you can also play true solo with only 1 angel, and you get this helper, intercessor. This name I don't remember, but you have this angelic helper. You can say additional character that will help your angel, but this additional angel doesn't have a miniature on the board and the monster don't attack it. It just uses action to boost and to help your character. So it's a really cool idea. There are not many cons of this game, and to be honest, it's not that this is the best and most perfect game in the world, but I really thought about the cons of this game and I don't see a lot of them. One con may be that this is a Christian game, and I think that for some people this may be a big con. Maybe they don't like religion, they don't like Christianity, and they think that this is, I don't know, that they will not play this game because of this Christian theme. It's up to them, of course, but as I said, the Christianity in this game is more in terms of the theme, of the story, of the lore, and not, you don't feel that you, I don't know, are forced to believe in something, or someone is forcing this religion into you. But if you hate religion and you don't like Christianity, but maybe Deliverance is not the game for you. And another con for me, maybe a stupid thing, but why didn't they give you enough plastic bases for all the standees? Because you have, I don't know, 46, 7, 8 standees in this game, and you get over 30 plastic bases. So you don't have enough plastic bases for all the standees, and during the game you have to take the standees out of the plastic base and put new standees there, remove them, put them, I don't know. The plastic standees are probably very cheap in China, and they already gave you 30, so they could have give you enough plastic bases for all the standees, so you wouldn't have to take them out and put them in. It was the same situation with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice, the retail edition. You had a lot of standees, but you didn't have enough bases, and you have to put the standees in the base and remove them. And this is a cardboard. The standees in Deliverance are made from cardboard, so maybe after 50 times putting it in the base and out, in, out, in, out, the cardboard will be damaged a little. I don't know. Apart from them, I don't see any other cons of this game. This is a great skirmish game, great cooperative game, great adventure game. It reminds me about a lot of games that I love. It reminds me of Too Many Bones in terms of the skirmish mode. You have battles on these small maps, and each enemy behaves differently, your characters behave differently, and you have to fight different enemies in order to fight and defeat the final boss. Sometimes it reminds me of Explore It, because when I look at the enemy boards, how they behave, that they have different attacks, and the attacks depend on the dice roll. So you roll a die, and depending on the result, you use different attack from the enemy. It reminds me a lot of Explore It. Even when I look at the enemy boards and boss boards. They look a little like boss cards in Hexplored. I had a lot of fun with this game. The campaign is great, the skirmish mode is fun. If you like dungeon crawler, fantasy type of games where you have your characters and you can level up, you can gain new spells in this game, they are called prayers, new equipment, and fight different monsters, you should really try and play Deliverance. For me, this is a huge surprise, this game. I remember this game from Kickstarter campaign and I didn't back it. I wasn't sure if this will be a good game or not. Sometimes it's hard to judge. When you look at the game on a Kickstarter campaign, all the games look great. They have amazing miniatures, great artwork, but they are not always so good. But the campaign always tells you this is the best game in the world. So I remember Deliverance from the Kickstarter campaign, but I wasn't sure if this would be a good game or not, so I didn't back it. And I'm really happy that I had the chance to play it now. I have a chance to play great game from small publishers recently. Uprising was an awesome game from a publisher that has released only one game, I think, the Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor. Then I played Kinfire Chronicles, also kind of independent publisher, great fantasy campaign adventure game. And now Deliverance, another game from a small publisher, Lowen Games, that is really, really awesome. And I have a feeling that this, you can say, independent games from smaller publishers are very often better and more interesting than the games from the big fat publishers that we all know. So I'm really happy that I had the chance to play Deliverance. I also really hope that they will create a new content for this game. This game could be easily expanded with another campaign, and maybe they could make a campaign in Hexplored style, where you have enemies printed inside the campaign book. They did something like this here already. You have some enemies inside the campaign book, but they could add new campaign, maybe some new enemies, maybe new angels. You don't really have to add new equipment. There is a lot of it, prayer cards, darkness cards. You don't need new cards. You don't need really the map tiles, because the map tiles here are mostly generic and you can use the one that are here. But a new campaign and maybe new enemies and new angels would be awesome. So I highly recommend to play Deliverance. I hope you enjoyed this video. Click the like button if you liked it. You can subscribe to my channel as well. Visit me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I will leave links in the description of the video. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.